Hey.
One, Mara. Did you sell that listing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Just as expected.
Over asking?
Yes.
Brandon sent me that listing for that house on Pachelki. I was like, girl. I was like, can I get married in your outdoor kitchen?
Right. It would definitely be a property for weddings for sure.
She said no. Mom was like, are you going to get married there? And she was like, you could get married there, nobody else. I'm like, okay, so you don't want to deal with that.
Okay, let's get started with our accountability. So we'll go through contacts made and then any contracts or appointments that you want to share. And Kel, you want to get us started?
Yes, I did 21 contacts last 24 hours. So that's good. Some of the phone calls, actually most of them. And I was able to get hold of like about 13 of them. And
Nice.
yeah, and I was giving them what I'm doing, and I'm actually very open them, and I didn't say like I'm very experienced or anything like that. I said, I'm brand new, but most of them are really, they said you have a lot of energy, something like that. And actually the two of them, actually, I was calling them, I didn't know, because they said I've been a real estate agent for 17 years now. They want to say 31 years, something like that.
Wow.
It was good. So kind of like they gave me a bit of advice too. That's good. I'm happy about that.
Good job. Tyler?
Yeah, I've been writing letters all this morning. I haven't called anybody just yet, but yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Good job. Abigail?
Sorry, I forgot how to do the thing. I only put in one new contact. We have to go out of town on Friday for a funeral, so that was been taking up my time. They put me in charge of a lot of things, so I probably won't be getting much done for the rest of the week. But,
Absolutely understandable.
But I'll be back on it next week.
Yes, good job. Jeff?
Are you going to talk?
I thought you were going to talk.
We went and toured some new construction for a buyer that we have yesterday. And so we spent most of the time doing that. And we also had a meeting with an advertiser. So we've got that kind of in the plans. But we didn't actually have any new contacts since the last class that we reported from that were like leads. So we did call on the ones that Mara gave us. So they were actually real people this time instead of the fake ones that we got the first time or two that we got them. And so there's a little progress on that as well. So we added those to command, but that's about it.
Excellent. Great job. Annie?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Los Angeles, and I reached out to one of my friends. He's doing really well down there and just killing it. So I reached out to him and said, a lot of people are moving from LA to Bend, and if you know anyone. And unfortunately, he said about a month ago, he actually did have one relocate to Bend. So unfortunately, I missed that, but hopefully he'll be a good contact in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good job. Debbie?
So today's last day of vacation, but it's raining outside. So I did 3 cards this morning, and that's it.
Excellent. Chelsea?
Last night and today I've spent working with my buyers. They have a house we're looking at tomorrow at 4, and they're super concerned about the land, less concerned about the home. So we've been coming up with plans and going over all the things I've learned in class and techniques to get ideas down for what kind of offer they'd want to write, so that when we go in, if they like it, we can jump on it right away and be really proactive about it. And so I've advised them, with reaching out to their lender, different options and loans, even from class we had yesterday was useful. So I've been working really closely with them because I know that the house is within their limits. They have some room to go. And so we're really just trying to go over what they're willing to do to put an offer in on a home and see how far they're willing to go. So we've been working with that. And then as far as like getting my own house ready, I've reached out to 2 companies today, which was pretty fun because I don't have a lot of contacts here yet with companies. And one of the guys is a roofer and was really awesome. And once I mentioned I was an agent, he was super happy to come work on my house. And he was like ecstatic to maybe work on other things in the future as far as recommendations and stuff. So making some contacts there. So just trying to utilize that at the moment. And that's so far it for today.
Awesome. All right, that was everyone, right? I think so. Perfect.
No.
No? Who did I miss?
No, Tori.
Oh, Tori. Yeah, go for it. Go.
No worries. And I have headphones on and a baby on my back, so sorry if I'm yelling.
You're totally fine.
Okay. I spoke to 5 people today about real estate. None of them are new people, but they're all people that I've kind of been talking with regarding real estate. So I did add 3 new people to my database today. And then I've been working on collaborating with some vendors and creating my own labels to get my first closing basket ready. So I'm working on that stuff. And then I have an appointment today at 4 o'clock. So I'm also making sure I have all my documents ready for that.
Excellent. Good job. Woohoo. All right. So today we are lucky enough to have Morgan from our agent service division finishing up Ignite for us with Ignition Blastoff. Morgan used to own a virtual assistant business offering digital services to struggling small businesses in the local area. And today he's focused on helping others grow to their fullest potential through systems, tools, goals, and planning. He's your go-to guy for anything KW technology or anything virtual, electronic, all of that stuff. He has a fun Facebook page that they run classes off of, but super, super helpful. And he loves teaching this class for us, so we're super excited to have him. So I will let you take it away, Morgan. We can't hear you. Nope, still can't hear you.
He's real techie.
Right? It always happens with the tech people. Their tech doesn't work. Nope. Nope, still not. If it makes you feel better, I can get my toaster to work before class today, so that was fun. I couldn't toast my bread.
And I also had a problem where I washed a rug that disintegrated in both my washer and dryer. So I know how that goes. Little challenges in the day.
Yes,
right.
I gotta go back.
Check.
There you go.
All right. Hey, thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it. Sorry about that little technical difficulty there. I have to say that this is probably my most favorite class that Mara lets me teach. Every time she invites me back here to share my knowledge with you guys. And I know that each class is a little bit different when it comes to Ignite, and today's class is really going to be about getting and staying focused, knowing your numbers, keeping yourself accountable with your goals, as well as preparing for your business future. So with that being said, let's start off with, I know we went through our numbers and what we were currently doing, but I'd like to kind of go around and see what everybody's kind of goals are. I want to know what kind of drives you in your business to succeed and thrive in the real estate industry. So I'll start off left to right. Abigail, what is your main goal, your big goal? What's the reason that's driving you to do this?
Sure. I wanted to do real estate for a long time, and Mara will tell you that I like bugged her and went to career night, and I job shadowed with her, and it's just kind of like a big scary commitment to start. But after I got laid off last March, I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna like dive in with both feet. And I wanted to do it because I feel like, first of all, it fits my personality really well. I love socializing and like meeting people and helping people and like matching people's excitement. So I felt like it was like a personality wise, it was like a good match. And maybe, I don't know, from my childhood, we moved around a lot, and it just like made me really excited to see like what the next home was going to look like. So I have like a real estate passion cell in my body somewhere. And then on top of that, I have a 2-year-old, and I just really want a future that has flexibility, that I'll be able to not only support whatever hobby she wants to do, but I also want to be available to her, for her field trips and stuff like that. I don't ever want to work a 9-to-5 job again. So overall, it just feels like a good match for me.
Great. So really sounds like it's kind of like enrooted into to your past experiences and being able to share that along with others, as well as being able to have that flexibility to kind of grow, and pass that to your loved ones. Correct?
Yeah, for sure.
Jeff, what about you?
I'll mute it there. Sorry, Morgan, we're in the same room, so we have to do this back and forth to.
Hey, no, it works though.
Morgan, you and I actually know each other a little bit, but for me, I've been in business for a long time. Always enamored with the idea of starting my own business, but working kind of in office management and real estate and mortgages and website technology, and then recently as the team leader at Keller Williams Eugene Springfield. Coaching agents and helping them be successful always gets your adrenaline going. And you're like, I could do this. But I was raising a child, had so many other things going on. I think what happened is that as Zoe and I chatted while I was coaching agents, I knew that she would crush it as an agent, and she started that process of getting her license. And as we went through the fires and we went through COVID and we went through everything else, I really had to do a long, hard thought. I want to work about 15 more years. And if there was ever going to be a time to do it, I felt like this was the right time. So Zoe and I sat down and chatted, and I said, you know what? I love helping people. This is a different way to do it. I want to have a flexible schedule, have kind of an somewhat unlimited earning potential. And rather than coach others on how to do it, I would rather just get into it myself and give it our all and see what happens. In worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, one of us could stay an agent and one of us could get back into the business field. But I think it's going to work out. I think we're going to be fine. So flexible schedule, helping others reach their dreams, building financial wealth, and trying to reach a retirement where we can actually enjoy doing art and travel and everything that we want to do.
That sounds fantastic. Jeff, I have to ask you, if you had to choose between growing a business and retiring early, which would you probably lean more towards?
Well, they're so related, Morgan, because if I couldn't retire early if we didn't grow a big business. So we have to focus on growing a big business and building wealth, probably through property accumulation would be my guess. But it's going to take us at least, as you know, well, from a mortgage standpoint, we need 2 years, and it'll average our income for the 2 years. So we might need 3 years to 4 years before we can really start having the money to put down to buy property. So I think we have to focus on building a good business, and that will eventually lead to, and by the way, 15 years isn't necessarily early for me. I'm getting up there in age. So but yes, in my 60s somewhere would be a great time to retire.
Okay. And so it sounds like you're looking for investment properties as well, right? Okay, perfect. Annie, how about you?
Yeah, so I've been an online teacher for the past 10 years or so. I teach adults business English, so adults from, other countries. And I guess last March, I kind of just started wanting something more. I wasn't really feeling challenged enough. And so I started thinking about what I could do to, branch out. And I've only been living in Bend since October 2019. And so I just wanted, kind of to get to know the community better. And I teach negotiation skills. So kind of similar to what Jeff was saying, I want to actually do it, not just teach it, not just coach that. So I just, after talking to some people, they mentioned that, I could use my skills and easily transfer those to real estate. And especially with a teaching background, it's, I know how to communicate, help buyers and sellers who maybe don't know what they're doing. And I think it's a good way to get involved with the community. During my meeting today, one of the agents mentioned he wants to start a food drive and plant trees around the neighborhood. And I'm really excited. I messaged him and I'm excited to start working with him and just get more involved and meet new people here.
Perfect. So, so it sounds like having the similar skills for this field really kind of helps you be able to transition a little bit easier, as well as being able to kind of pick up those extra challenges. That's a little bit more of a thinker and more of a process. So, as well as giving back to your community. So. Other avenues to be able to venture into to give back to your local community too. Love it. Absolutely love it. Let's see who's next. Zoe.
Hi. So I actually had a pretty transitional year, as most people had, and I started working from home in March, but prior to that I had a neck injury, and working from home became really necessary, not just because of COVID. And having that opportunity to kind of heal while I worked was really valuable to me. And then, additionally, working with Jeff and hearing all about the business of real estate and agents, and hearing him encourage me, started making me think a little bit more about, okay, so how could I, because previously, I don't know if you know this, Morgan, but I worked for about 20 years in sociology-based research, in support roles, recruiting, subject contacting, DHS research work, things like that. And so I wanted to know how I could continue helping people, and how I could control a little bit, be more in control of my financial and professional destiny, while at the same time, being able to kind of more holistically use all of my skill sets, because I've had, this huge, massive array of work and jobs related to a lot of things that are parallel to what real estate brings to the table, but haven't actually got a chance to do all of them at the same time. So marketing, recruiting, working with the public, using social skills, creative writing things, all of those skill sets kind of come into play. So it just made sense, I guess, as a transition for me. And additionally, just having the ability to work in a team setting with my best friend and partner in life. All of those things just kind of culminated in this undeniable new path. And so here we are on it. And it's a challenge, which is exactly what I think we both wanted. And I think we both wanted the ability to kind of, craft what our lives looked like. And this is exactly the route that is going to allow us to do that.
I absolutely love it. It sounds like that's being able to partner up with just like you said, your best friend and have create that family business while continuing to help others around you and utilize all of the skills that you've acquired up until this point while still being in control of your own business. I love it. Absolutely love it. Debbie.
So I was in the real estate business about 25 years ago, and I really loved it, but I did not have the time at that time to really devote to it. So I let my license go, and I've been involved with owning my own businesses since then. And so now I have time again. So I'm back in the business. The next reason is to grow my investment portfolio. And the third reason is when I sold my main business, it was a real estate and business transaction. It was a pretty large transaction, and I used a friend of mine for my agent. And when I look back, he really didn't have my best interest at heart. When I was reinvesting, and just some things that went down during the transactions in that period, I felt like I don't want what happened to me to happen to other people. And so I wanted to be a part of being an agent that doesn't take advantage of people.
I like that a lot. Debbie, welcome back. So first and foremost, welcome back. That's it's so important to know that that even though that you've stepped away, to know that you've loved real estate and to find your way back here is absolutely phenomenal. Investment portfolios, that's something that that again some people in this class right here are interested in as well. So maybe you'll be able to connect with some others here today. As well as having others' best interest at heart. That's so important in this industry, especially any industry across the board. So often we find ourselves in the daily rush or trying to, skim off the top, where we don't realize how much that truly affects the day-to-day operations. So very, very important stuff. Thank you for sharing. Tyler.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much echoing a lot of the notes that everyone's said before. I value my own independence. Running a business sounds like an interesting challenge. I worked for my stepfather for a couple of years prior to this, and before then I was in college. I really liked being involved in a small business, as it were, but also I sometimes wanted to make different choices than he'd make. Obviously it was his business, so he did what he wanted. So I thought the idea of, running my own thing is intriguing. I enjoy challenging myself. I do have a tendency to take off really big chunks of challenges and get a little overwhelmed, but then I'll learn how to do it and adapt anyway, but that's part of the process, right? And I also want to help people. I really like teaching people. I like doing, charity work, being involved in the community. And I was kind of thinking about that for a while, and I think that one of the ways that I can make a bigger impact than simply volunteering my time is to gaining a larger audience. And one of the ways of doing that is building a business and then using that as an avenue of helping. And then beyond that, I always loved learning. I like picking up new skills, learning about myself, growing not only financially but as a person. And the way to do that is to challenge yourself. So here I am.
Fantastic. Thank you. Tyler, everything that you said just screamed growth for me. So everything that you were talking about is really the independent business, teaching and giving back to the community, learning and gaining as much knowledge as you can. My friend, that is growth, and that is a huge foundational block in Keller Williams. Something that I think if you haven't already, Tyler, please try and check out your market centers. You're in Eugene, correct? Please check out the growth committee if you can, and maybe see if you can gain some other like-minded individuals to conversate with and be able to kind of grow that individual mindset.
Sure,
absolutely amazing. Chelsea.
Hello. For me, it actually started when I was pretty little, which sounds kind of weird, but my mom left when I was little and my dad raised me, and he was the hardest working man I could ever imagine. And he really, really valued his job, and he really valued work, and that was super important to him, and had put himself through electrical school while raising me. And I just had like nothing but complete respect for him. So I started working in the service industry when I was really young, and had been in that for many years, Well, he had dealt with this realtor out of Salem, and I just ended up like as a teenager thinking, oh my gosh, like she's gorgeous. Like she just like I kind of like idolized her. I don't know what it was. So I just thought she was like amazing, and never really thought much about it. But I did tons of community colleges. I moved a lot. I just really didn't know where I was. So I ended up going to beauty school, and it wasn't what I wanted to do. It wasn't my passion. I like knew this right away, but I felt like I had to do something since I wasn't like doing as well as I probably should have at like college, you know, and it just was, and I always work. So for me, it was like, I worked a 60-hour week and went to school, or 2 or 3 jobs and went to school. Like it was just always a lot. I like to be busy. And my dad, right when I graduated beauty school, we found out he had stage 4 brain cancer. And so I took care of him for 11 months. He made it 11 months. And at the end of that, obviously, you know, it was just me. So we, you know, I dealt with his house, and it was when the market had crashed, and it turned into like a whole thing with lawyers. And anyways, it really piqued my interest learning about all the options out there. I ended up going back and using the realtor that I used as a teenager that he had used. And actually, I really learned a lot of valuable lessons. I just really was intrigued by it, but I held on to the beauty school thing for a while and doing hair for a couple of years after that, kind of transitioned out of the beauty industry just because I felt like I had paid all this money, I'd done all this work to be in it, I should like this career, right? Well, I could never get real estate off my mind. It always intrigued me. But I think I've always just been like a caretaker by nature. And I think that that's just like, I've like fallen into my life where I know that I'm going to be a caretaker for the rest of my life, no matter if it's taking care of somebody who's ill or my family or whatever it is. And so for me, now that I have children, they are my heart and soul, and I didn't grow up with a big family. So they are everything. And my husband works pretty much nonstop. He really has no breaks. It's like crazy. He's in the restaurant industry, and it's a really hard job, what he does. And so I've always taken the backseat in my career. But what makes me happy, which is funny because I actually really discovered this in one of my classes, is, I mean, work makes me happy. So I'm not someone who goes out. I don't really drink. I don't do any of that stuff. But work like excites me, and I have to be doing different stuff. And I think I've always just really, because I idolized my dad and how hard he worked, that's just where I find my happiness, is work and working really hard and providing for my family. And my husband always gives me a hard time because he's like, you work so hard at home, you do everything. Like I go to work and I come home and that's it. Like you do that. But to me, there's gratification in getting like that paycheck. You know, I don't know what it is. I like for me, and I think it just all really relates to like just having such a hardworking dad and seeing how he did it by himself. And so I just really, I'd been thinking about real estate for probably over a year, and my husband's like, do it. Like, you've been thinking about it so long, do it. And so I took the jump and I did it. And I wasn't part of a productivity coaching program or anything, which I'm like loving now. Cause I mean, I really like, I don't like to do something unless I like really know what I'm doing and I feel confident in it. And I just, I love interacting with people. I'm a social person. I knew I had to have something that I could, you know, support my kids' dreams and support their sports and their goals and get them to where they need to be, and my husband's career as well. And so I just felt like it was a really good opportunity to get into a career where I'm still servicing people and helping people and supporting my family and my husband as well. And then, you know, the older we get, the more we're thinking about investments and where those paychecks can go. And so now it's kind of exciting because we're kind of getting into these investments with my paychecks, you know, and we live off his. So anyways, it's like, it's transitioned from one goal kind of to the next, but I just think real estate's really exciting and you're always learning and doing something different. And I just feel proud of myself, you know, at the end of the day, or when you do a deal and you feel really good about it. So anyways, kind of like a random story, circle story, but lots of things led me here. And I think it's an awesome career.
I love it. I love, Chelsea, giving us that backstory, really kind of, gave us the understanding of where that kind of caretaker mentality came from, right? And seeing the drive of providing, for your family and having a good work ethic. So, I have to say that's a pretty amazing story, and one that I'll probably be thinking about after class here today. I have a similar story that I'll share with you guys after I go through you guys' goals. And but yeah, thank you for sharing that. So I think that you're in the right industry to be able to have that drive and provide you know, and caretake for your clients and provide good investments while your better half is, or your other half, sorry, is you know, really providing in the other side of the industry. So I like it. I love it a lot. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Let me butcher your name. Taniana.
Hi, it's Tanea.
Tanea. That was gonna be my second guess.
It's tricky. So I was a teacher before this and worked a lot in the nonprofit industry. And the last few years was just really burnt out, really stressed out, really frustrated. I had a major surgery last January, so a little over a year ago. And that was kind of my breaking point, just feeling very unsupported in my career and not like I was able to take care of myself and my family in that anymore. So for me, this is a transition that will allow me to do those things and put myself and my family first, but also have more control over my finances, the opportunity to make more money. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
Tanea, did I say it right? Okay. You know, that's a similar story to others in this training as well. So a lot of us come from very similar backgrounds where you'll hear that that we're in a different industry, right? I came from a food industry myself, and being able to kind of exceed and jump through that ceiling and go and be able to provide more for yourself and for your loved ones is probably one of the best goals out there. One of the best goals. Tori.
Hi. Make sure I can hear myself. Is the background noise too noisy? There's
nope,
cartoons.
You're good.
No, okay. Cool. So I guess our biggest whys as a family are financial freedom. My husband and I've been talking about financial freedom for quite some time and just trying to figure that out. And then I guess the whole way that I even got here was I went to school for psychology. People, understanding people, coordinating care, all that good stuff. I'm just very compassionate about people. But like a lot of people have said already, like I was in an industry where when I needed that same compassion, when I needed my worth to be validated, it wasn't. And I noticed a really big decline in my own like mental health. And working in the mental health field specifically for the last like 7 years, it sucked. So I didn't know what I was going to do next. I knew that part of us being having that financial freedom is I just have to keep working, because going to school means I had a lot of student debt. And I just started praying, and my husband was like, well, what are you hearing? What's God saying to you? So, real estate was it. And that's like the craziest thing, because I have never, ever seen myself here. I never, ever. But I see now all the skills that I have acquired throughout the years, the ability to listen, to really help people identify their needs, to celebrate their strengths, to work through things, help them goal set, and just be an advocate and friend has really helped me here. Also, my parents are separated. Neither of them own homes. My mom lives with my grandma. And so my passion is to start with the people that I know. And actually, my dad, we're closing on his very first home ever in a week. And so I'm just so thankful to be here, to be that support for him. My mom is next. I'm going to help her. So
Wow.
just want to continue helping. Yeah.
Tori, I have to say congratulations. A big round of applause for your dad.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. And again, I think this is an amazing industry to have that culture where you'll see everyone around you kind of support you to kind of have that the best life that you can have. Everybody's life is different, and whatever best life that you want individually, you'll see a lot of people trying their hardest to help you get there. So I think that's absolutely amazing. I think Kel, I think you're the last one, I think.
Maybe. Yeah, so my background, I actually work at the health service industry. Like health service director, I work in a few companies too, and the last 10 years. So, but I always, I was actually making good money too. And in the same time, I was investing in the real estate. So I have investment properties, and at the same time, I would like to know about the other properties. Then I always have to go to the real estate agent and ask them about the properties and stuff. But I feel like I always bothering them, kind of like that. But I know now it's totally different. That's kind of their job. But in the same time, I want to get my real estate license, but because of my work, I always work full time. More than full time actually. Then I never had the time to get my real estate license. But when we had the COVID hit last March, so I had me and my wife, we had the baby. She was like 1 month old that time. So I thought to take some time off because of the COVID. Actually, that's the first COVID patient in Oregon we found in Hillsboro, Kaiser Hospital. I was working there too. So in the same time, when I was in home, when I was thinking about what to do, then I thought, get my real estate license. So that's how I started doing real estate as agent. That's good. And I didn't know like how to become an agent before. And when I started the Ignite, actually, it helped me a lot how to start the business, how to build the business. So then, because even some of the friends or the coworkers I had in like 10 years ago, I never contact them, but I had their phone numbers or those stuff. So I started contacting them. Actually, within like few months, I built a huge group, people that I know before. Then they became my customers now. So it's
that's how it happens. And then you just keep working that database, those contacts, and push it down the pipeline. Kel, I have to say that I really like. Are you looking to transition from full-time employment to full-time real estate agent? Is that what your goal is?
Yeah, right.
Well, I have to say that just being here today and in this class and as many classes that you can participate in will get you well on your way. It sounds like you have a lot of contacts. I was listening to your report out from Mara. You have quite a bit of contacts that you've added already. So just keep it up, man. And those should there's a thing that we say, and what you do today shows up 3 months from now. So just keep working as hard as you can every day, and in 3 months from the line, you should start to see the fruits of your labor. Anybody else? Did I miss anyone on our goals here? Okay. I don't think so. I'll tell you my goal. And this is going to be a story here. It may be a little emotional story, but it's one that's not supposed to be emotional. It's supposed to be educational. Okay. I tell this story at only one time and one time only, and that is during this class. So this is a personal story for those of you who are looking to learn a little bit more about me. Abigail already knows this story. So when we're talking about goals, I really love the fact that each one of you guys really stuck with a very meaningful goal. And it's so important to hold on to that goal in times that are very happy and worth celebrating, in times that are stressful and hectic, right? Your one goal, your goal is going to be the thing that drives you and sticks you to your true path. I have a goal. My mom had a goal, and her goal was to backpack through Europe. It's a pretty standard goal, right? You'll hear this quite a bit from different people. But what my mom did is, my mom actually ended up having four children. I'm the second oldest, and as we were getting old, or older enough to get out of the house, my younger sister, my little sister, she ended up having a child. So my mom was a grandmother now at this point. So she never really got to backpack through Europe. Every so often she would be able to save up, and something would happen where she would end up spending that to fix the car up, or things like that. Standard day-to-day wear and tear. One day my mom got sick. She was a diabetic, and all of a sudden, she was starting to get ill, and she was no longer able to kind of go on trips or even make it to the supermarket. So she ended up passing away, and she was 48 years old. At 48 years old, she never got to accomplish her goal of backpacking through Europe. Now, needless to say, this got me thinking, right? What can I do to kind of make it as meaningful as I can for her, right? Should I backpack through Europe? I started to think about that. Maybe I could backpack through Europe with her ashes, but that, I'm not quite sure how that would work out. So then I started to think a little bit deeper, and I started to think, well, what could I do that could be 10 times that amount of accomplishment? And what I came to the conclusion of was, how amazing would it be for my mother to see me accomplish my goal, my backpack through Europe? Because how proud would a parent be to see their children accomplish their goals? So a couple months after she passed away, my girlfriend saw me scrolling through my backpack through Europe was a jazz cruise. I kept on hearing on this on the radio, do you like the music that you're listening to? Take a cruise. All these jazz players are going to be playing on this cruise at this date. Well, I thought about that for the last few years, and I thought that, well, that's my goal. That's what I want. I just want to go on a cruise to the Caribbean. And my girlfriend, she saw me scrolling through my phone, Carnival Cruises. And, first day she didn't say anything. Second day she saw me scrolling through. When she got home, I'd put it away, Third day she came in, and she looked at me, she goes, are you going to pull the trigger on that or what? And so I kind of thought, and I scratched my head, and I was a little excited and a little nervous at the same time. And I didn't realize how somebody could just be so willing and open to help me accomplish a goal that I had been looking forward to for years. She didn't know it was that important to me, but it was, and that was my goal and my accomplishment. And fast forward last year, this last December, I had to cancel my third cruise just because of COVID. But how amazing is it to see your children be able to accomplish that goal? Now, my mom has passed away, and my goal, that was my backpack through Europe goal. My goal has kind of changed now. And much like how yours may, my goal now is to make my mom proud. And every day, all I have to do, since my mom is no longer with me, or she's always with me, all I have to do is make my mom proud and be a better person than I was yesterday. And as long as I can do that, and as long as I can influence and make a difference, I'm doing my job and I'm accomplishing my goal. If I start regressing, I'll stop, assess the situation, and then continue onward. We're not all perfect people, but to be able to hold on to your goals as a true beacon of light, and to say, how and where you are and how to accomplish those hurdles that may come at you. Very, very, very important stuff. Okay. So goals, very important stuff. Thank you guys. You probably won't hear that any other time other than this class right here. I'm kind of a private person, but yeah. So as we're moving on, as long as you guys know that your goals are really that true heart of your of your driving force, that's why you are doing what you're doing here today. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna share my screen. And we have some slides here. I always do a 50-50 job of pushing through the slides correctly. So if you guys, if I skip any or if you see some on for an inordinate amount of time, then just holler at me. So welcome to Ignite, you guys. We've already kind of made it past these things. This is what Mara did. This is our daily tracker. If you guys are using your daily tracker inside of kwtechhelp.com on your Ignite section right there, your Ignite tab, you should have a My Tracker where you can just easily enter your My Tracker information. All right, let's see here. There we go. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about your lead funnel here. So we already know what our goal is. How do we accomplish our goals, or how do we get to be able to reap those rewards or reap those benefits? Well, it all starts with something that looks similar to this. It's called a sales funnel. But you guys, or a drip campaign, or really anything that you guys see that's going to look similar to this: leads, appointment, agreements, and contracts. Sometimes it doesn't look quite like a funnel. Sometimes it can just look like a sheet or your opportunities inside of Command. But how this typically starts off is you're going to be right here as the individual. And what we typically have are leads that come through. Now, leads can come through at any point in time. You can send a social media ad, social post out. You can send, you can have somebody go to your website. Really anything that that would ask your contacts for their contact information would be a lead right here. Now, this lead would typically be their contact's first and last name, as well as their phone number and email. So these are typically the three most common pieces of lead information that come through. Now, what you do here is your job is to convert these into appointments. Now, these come in the form of just really building relationships. Now, when we talk in the form of building relationships and starting to get appointments and things like that, I'd like to kind of tell you a little story about the 2-bite rule. Now, Abigail may know about the 2-bite rule, but for those of you who do not, your 2-bite rule is going to be, I'm sure pre-COVID, we all used to go to restaurants, right? And we all used to sit down and eat. Well, have you guys ever noticed that when the waiter comes and they set your food down, they usually only wait, a couple minutes to come back and ask you how your food is? Well, this is typically a standard in most restaurants, and it's called the 2-bite rule. And the 2-bite rule is in place for you to be able to have 1 bite to try your food and a 2nd bite to make your judgment. And then your waiter or waitress should be able to come back and ask you how your food is. So I know sometimes we get annoyed. Oh gosh, I just got my food. How come they're asking me? But really it's actually to make sure that everything is appropriate and up to your standards. So, just remember the 2-bite rule when it comes to your appointments right here. Actually, let's back that up and let's play full restaurant here for a second. So first and foremost, and I'm going to play restaurant. And when I mean play restaurant, I kind of want you to take the real estate agent and the restaurant industry, and I kind of want you to put them side by side and kind of compare where the real estate agent would be during these interactions. Okay. So first and foremost, a hungry customer comes in and waits to be seated by the host. That would be, does anybody know? That would be a lead coming through. So if you come in and your contact is hungry, chances are they're waiting to be seated by a host, and that would be your leads coming through into your database. Now, when you're when you get seated by your host, a waiter comes up and they ask you if you want what? If you want anything to drink. And typically you'll get a glass of water, something like that, and then they'll go away. And then they'll come back a few minutes later and then they'll take your order and then they'll disappear again. And then they'll come back, they'll give you your food and then they'll disappear again. And then they'll come back and then ask you about the 2-bite rule. So this is very similar in the way that real estate agents in their businesses interact. So if a contact comes in and waits to be seated, that would be them clicking on your social media ad or banner interested in a home or a property. You'll be able to contact them based off of the information that they give you, and you'll be able to start building relationships and appointments with them, learning a little bit more information on what they are actually looking for. And then they come back and then they give you some water and they take your order. And then they come back and give you your food and then you close out. So there's a lot of different similarities when it comes to, and I just use the food restaurant industry because it's very similar. We're all in the industry of service. So treat it like a service industry. You're here to help others. And I'm pretty sure you can use any other analogy that you can think of, but a lot of us said food industry here. So, but that's how you would typically have that service heart when it comes to your drip campaign. When your leads come in and you set your appointments, once your appointments are set, you'll sign agreements and then your contracts will come through and then you'll close on the deals. Do you guys have any question on your drip campaign here? All right, I have a short little video here for you guys. This is the day in the life of a mega agent. Judging by how I had a little bit of audio issue previously, just let me know if you cannot hear the video, and then I should be able to frantically work on it in the background for you guys, okay? Can you guys hear that? No. Gosh, I'm not quite sure, you guys.
Morgan, I can see it, but we can't hear it.
Let's see here. Let me try.
Maybe you can just do a voiceover and like ventriloquist the words for us.
I could probably do the high-pitched voice, but I don't think I could talk as fast. Let me try one more thing here. I'm going to change my audio, so bear with me just a moment, you guys.
Life of a mega agent. First thing in the morning, I have to start with getting up and getting my head right. What I've discovered is if I
can't see it.
Body will show up. So that typically means getting up in the morning, always exercising,
And now we can't hear you.
Second, reading something either spiritual or Linda McKissick, and I'm going to talk to you about an ideal day in the life of a mega agent. First thing in the morning, I have to start with getting up and getting my head right. What I've discovered is if I get my head there, my body will show up. So that typically means getting up in the morning, always exercising, getting the blood flowing, and second, reading something either spiritual or motivational or listening to an audio tape. Jim Rohn happens to be my favorite, so he's always in one of my CD players somewhere so that I can plug him in easily. Just listening to people that are inspirational, because I think all of us need hope every day to go do what we have to do. As we get to the office, the most important thing is, because every business is a lead generation business, is what does that lead generation look like? For me, because I'm at the 7th level, one of the most important things is what key people do I need to talk with that day? And that always pops up first. Do they have what they need to succeed? And then the next thing is, who are the people we need to be doing business with? How have I communicated with them lately? What do I need to do now? Is it a phone call today? Is it a drip campaign? Is it an invitation to something? Looking for how do I communicate with those people that we want to do business with, and how do I keep furthering that relationship and moving it along? I've discovered my business energy is highest earliest in the morning, earliest in the day, and earliest in the week. So I front load my week, Monday being the most difficult day with all the contacts and all the lead generation that I need to do early in the morning. And that frees me up to have the afternoon to kind of just work on plans or projects. Typically what I find is through the week, Monday and Tuesday are heavier, and Wednesday, and by Thursday and Friday, it's pretty more entrepreneurial of just off the cuff. And in the evening on Mondays or through the week is, it's always about family, because the reason we do what we do is so that we can build a great life and build great memories with our family. So our kids are very important to us. We're very involved. It's what are we going to do as a family? What do we need to do as a family? When's dinner? Where are we going to go? Or what are we going to eat? And that kind of rejuvenates me. One of my philosophies is the purpose of business is to fund life. And to me, life is all about family. And as a mega agent, your day might look different, but the key things we have to always remember is certain parts of our day have to look the same. So you might want to think about, where's my head? How can I get my head in the right place? And then we always want to remember that every business has to be lead generating. So what does your lead generation look like? Is it earliest in the morning? Is it earliest in the day? And then we always have to know that somewhere in the day we have to spend that quality time with family, because we don't want to win at business to lose at family. Thanks for watching KW Connect, and make it a great day.
Can you guys hear me now? Okay, yay. Okay, I think I fixed my audio. All right. So they talked a little bit about lead generation. Did you guys find any other useful tips in this video here?
I like the idea of kind of working with your natural productivity cycles, because everyone's going to be a little bit different. And so there's no like one prescriptive way to be productive other than taking advantage of the times where you're naturally much better.
I was going to say
I like the time blocking as well. That time, not just daily time blocking, but weekly time blocking.
And just having that sense of routine, I think, is important. Establish what works for you and then stick to it.
Yeah.
Finding where your head is super important to me, because I feel like sometimes I'm like, okay, it's 10 o'clock and all, kids are fed and everyone got their vitamins, but like, oh crap, I'm not dressed yet. I haven't even just figuring out where the heck is my head? How do I get myself focused? Because I have a lot that I want to accomplish and it's all in here, but I need to get it out here.
Yeah, I have 3 of my favorite ones are family time. Make sure to have some time left over for family time, because that's why you're doing this, right? I also liked time blocking. So important. If you guys are not time blocking, just remember, if it's not on your calendar, it does not exist. And also, if you guys can, try and block out an hour in the morning time, because the morning is going to be the less gosh, how do I say this? It's going to actually have time for you to be able to do your most important tasks, because throughout the day, more and more every hour and more tasks are built up and added on throughout the day, where at the end of the day, you're either going to be exhausted from all the tasks that you've already completed, or just overwhelmed with not feeling like you've really gotten anywhere or moved the needle too far. If you spend an hour in the morning time, chances are you may get things accomplished a lot quicker than you would pushing it off towards the end of the day. All right. I skipped a page here. This is actually going to be, if you guys have your Ignite binders, this is going to be our, let's see. This is going to be page, what is it? Page 8 right here. So I
Hey,
missed
Morgan,
our yes.
you still have the video up. The presentation's not up.
That's fine. I'm let me see here. There we go. So we're going to do a little bit of lead generation right here. Typically we do this at the beginning, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of little motivational, goals dive first. What we're going to do for lead generation right here, if you guys have your page, page 8, it says, begin by saying an affirming message out loud. I'm comfortable making calls daily because I know I am helping people. You guys are lucky today because if you were with me in class in person, I would make you stand up and I would make you scream this for the agents across the closed doors office across the halls to hear you. So since we're on Zoom today, I will not make you do that. What we're going to be doing here is we're actually going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm sure I know you guys can all make phone calls, and I'm sure you guys all know that situations with COVID are a little bit different these days. One thing that I would like you guys to do is I'll put probably about 10 minutes on the clock. And what I would like you guys to do is I would like you to text at least 4 contacts. Okay. But there's going to be a catch. I don't want you to mention anything about real estate. I just want you to text them and I want you to ask them how they are doing, what's going on, any little bit of information to see how them and their life is going. Okay. So, so again, I'm sure you guys have 4 contacts in your phone, even if there are hopefully not family members, but if you don't have any friends, we can move to family members if you want. But I really want you guys to reach out to individuals, preferably somebody that you either don't know too well or somebody who it's been a long time since you've reached out to them. So for individuals, I'll give you 10 minutes. I'm going to put a 10 minutes I'm going to put a 10-minute timer up. See if there's a better timer. There we go. I'm going to put a 10-minute timer up, you guys, and I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to see if I can try and find some good music for you. All right, go. All right, we're back. Let me get my camera on here. How did it go? Tell me what happened, you guys.
I messaged 7 people, and only one of them got back to me while we were doing that time block. But I, had a couple of little mini conversations, and I also took the time to respond to one of our Facebook post comments that had come in while we were in class as well. So I had technically 8 interactions, but only one of them was interactive.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic. One thing to note is reply on any comments that you get on your Facebook posts. It just drives up more interaction and more engagement. So congratulations. And to have a reply back so soon via text is phenomenal. So keep with it. You'll probably get more responses back throughout this class.
Thank you. We've been keeping that in mind about having the comments come through, because we've had a lot of traction. One of our posts is over 1,200 interactions or views from people, because we had it shared by local businesses and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Keep it up. Anytime they see the original post or reply back in the chat feed or the comment section, everybody goes crazy. So keep that in mind. Anyone else?
I wasn't as successful. When I first started with real estate, I actually did this exact activity. Oh, sorry. Is Tanea, are you talking? Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'll be fast. So yeah, when I went through my contact list, I did all that, and there was one person from the gym, and I thought we were good friends. We saw each other every day. So I started a conversation with him, didn't mention real estate, talked to him for a bit. And then I mentioned real estate, and he just stopped talking to me. And now he doesn't really talk to me at the gym. So I was worried. I don't know, when reaching out to people, I want to be straightforward, just to get to the point and not kind of, I don't know, lead them on or whatever. But I thought of one girl I haven't talked to in a while, and her birthday's coming up. So I used that as a, hey, your birthday's soon. Do you have any plans? And that was about it.
Awesome. One thing I'd like to touch on there. Oh, I think I'm still sharing this. One thing that I'd like to touch on is that we're truly in the business to build relationships. So one thing to keep in mind is you wouldn't necessarily stop talking to a good friend once they got a new job, correct?
Yeah.
It would essentially be the same sort of situation is I don't necessarily want you guys to go out hunting for people to buy or sell, or say, are you looking to buy or sell? I would rather have you go out and search for those relationships to build. So when the time comes that, say, a loved one unfortunately passes away, or when there is a new addition to the family, like a child's born, right, and they need a larger home, or when somebody moves off to college, I would almost challenge the mindset to be shifted in almost kind of that waiter mentality of, I'm here when you need me, but I'm still front of mind share. So the trick is to be ever present in the mind, but not come off kind of like a salesman. You know what I'm saying? So that's the best piece of advice that I could kind of give to you. Again, don't have any expectations at all other than making friends, essentially. There's a little bit more to it than that, but if you start off there, then there should be no reason why anybody would be disgruntled or upset with what you do for a living. Anyone else?
Sure. Yeah, I wrote a letter because I've been really enjoying writing letters lately. And I was actually looking through this database that I had pulled up of just an area I was going to send letters to, and I noticed a name in there of a guy I actually went to high school with. Apparently, he bought a house about a year back, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I figured I'd write him a letter, and I just had kind of fun writing him a letter. I'm gonna send it off to him, and I wasn't like super close with him, but I always thought he was a cool guy, so it'd be kind of fun to talk to him.
Absolutely, man. Any kind of connections that you can have from your past, and again, just to have him get a random letter from you as well, even if you guys weren't super close back then, he still may know who you are as well. And it just, again, all about building those relationships, and again, maybe he's looking for another property a little bit later down the line, or looking to grow or expand or get into any investment properties. So yeah, write that letter and friend him on Facebook, and yeah, perfect. Look at that.
Yeah, we're already friends on Facebook, but like you said, I just thought it'd be fun to send him a letter. It'd just be kind of an unexpected fun moment in his day.
Absolutely, man. Love it. We'll take one more. Anybody else? Anybody get any? Oh, yep. There you go.
I reached out to 14 people and I've heard back from 5. And I've been working on doing this a lot lately, just because I feel like a lot of times we only really get text messages or anything with a purpose, and it's kind of rare that someone's just like, hey, how's it going? And all of the responses back so far have been like, oh, hi. Like, people are just really excited that someone just wants to say hi to them. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Keep it up. So even after this class here today, just make sure it only takes 10 minutes to send some messages of love out there to everyone. Let them know that you're thinking about them. All right. Anybody else? Okay. All right. We're going to move on here. Let me see. What page am I on? We're going to move down to Pearls of Wisdom. So this will be page 11. So Pearls of Wisdom, it may be a little bit different because we're all virtual now. But Pearls of Wisdom are probably one of my favorite things inside of Ignition Blastoff right here. And in your mission, you're tasked with seeking out 5 different people and asking them 2 questions. Now, if you have not done this yet, I have an easy digital way that you guys can do this. And when we talk about seeking out 5 different people and asking them, I'm talking about your top producers in your market center, okay? So your top 20% real estate agent producers. What I would like you to do is I would like you to reach out to 5 of them and ask them 2 questions, okay? Now, I'm going to give you a website. So we have kwtechhelp.com as well as my Facebook, my ASD Facebook page, because I know you guys asked for that before. And Abigail, I will help you with your Facebook stuff. I'll just connect with you a little bit later after this class, okay? But if you guys click on kwtechhelp.com and click on Experience Network Roster right here, you guys should have on the right-hand side in red, you should have a list of all of the different rosters in our Experience Brokerage Network. So if you are from Sunset Corridor, you can click on the Discover Our Agent section right here, and you have a list of all of the agents in that market center. Now, they are not broken up by production brackets, so you may have to do a little bit of digging yourself. But here are all of the agents' rosters right here for you. So if you have not asked these 2 questions yet to 5 individuals, here's how you can do that here. And just reach out and say, hey, I'm going through Ignite right now, and I have these 2 questions that I'd like to ask you. The 2 questions are going to be, What is your advice on getting into effective production as quickly as possible? And what is your secret to longevity and prosperity in the real estate business? Now, you're going to be asking 5 individuals, but put your top 3 best answers that you received in these, if you guys are looking at your packet in this page 11 right here. So your top 3 out of the 5. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have you guys do that, do that on your own time. But again, just keep in mind that all these things are designed specifically to help improve you and your business moving forward. Okay. So whatever you don't do outside of class, think of it as only hindering your business instead of helping it. Okay. All right. So page 13 here. Let's see. On Make It Happen. Let's see. Make it happen. Anyone can succeed, but not everyone will. Why? The ones who do succeed have focus, the ability to concentrate their thoughts and actions on the most important tasks. So if you guys have not heard of this book, it's called The One Thing. The One Thing by, is it by Gary Keller? The One Thing by Gary Keller. Now, The One Thing really goes into depth about the one task today that you can do today that will make all the other tasks obsolete. So what's the one thing that you can do today, the most important task in your business that you do today to make today a win? And chances are that this is the most important thing that you should be focusing on. But chances are most of the time we focus on the easiest fires to put out. So what's the quickest, easiest thing that landed in our inbox that we can take care of really quick? And all of a sudden we're spending all day long answering those super quick, short fires instead of focusing on our one important thing. And all of a sudden it's late throughout the day and it's nighttime and you don't have any energy to complete that one thing that you set out to do for that day. So it's very, very important. And just with when we watched that video, whoever mentioned time blocking, that's a huge, huge advantage that we have in streamlining and systematizing our businesses. So how do you time block to get in focus? So for me, honestly, my Google Calendar. I use my Google Calendar religiously. If anybody asks me a question, I say, I don't know yet. I have to check my calendar first. So so that's how I time block. So if it's not on your calendar, it does not exist. My doctors can prove this for me. Accountability to your focus as well. So what are the long-term effects when it comes to these accountabilities? Well, there's 2 ways that you can go. You typically start at a point. If anybody knows how pilots work, you start at one point, but if you veer off 1% throughout the course, you're going to end up over here when you should have ended up over here. So when it comes to keeping accountability on your focus, I would be keeping this in a weekly check. So whether this be a weekly recount or recap of what you've done and how you want to get to your goal for the week. Another thing is I do daily huddles. So not only do we have a weekly meeting, but we have daily stand-up 15-minute huddles with our team to make sure that that everything's going accordingly. If you don't have a team, you can huddle up with all of your technology and your programs and just make sure everything's running smoothly, right? How do you make your environment support your focus? So you got to make sure that your environment supports your focus. So if you don't have a quiet space to work at home, just know that you should have a computer lab or somewhere quiet in the market center to travel off to. It's very important when you're time blocking to focus on the task at hand because small little distractions that you have So say you're time blocking an important task, but an email pops up. Chances are you're drawn to the email. You'll go and you'll check it, respond really quick, and then jump back into your task. Well, statistics have proven that the time that it takes for you to stop the task that you're already halfway through, move over to a different task, get reoriented with the new task that you're doing, complete that, and then jump back over to the task that you've already have been working on halfway through. Well, you've already spent all that time trying to navigate, and now you have to refocus on where exactly you were and retrain your thought process into that halfway through your original project. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay. So it's very important to keep that environment to support your focus, right? So quiet environment, right? Just a loving, supportive cultural environment as well is going to be very important to help you focus. Next, how do you keep your energy to maintain your focus? So there's a lot of different ways to maintain your energy here. Cashews, they're packed full of protein and energy, and they're delicious as well. So you have you have protein bars, you have tons of different ways to keep energy. You have water, so there's going to be 5 main ways that you can maintain your energy and focus, and each way is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to do the types of energy and then paired with the types of activities to help re-energize this. So number 1 is going to be spiritual. So to gain the spiritual energy, you'll need to do the activities of meditation and praying. Okay, so meditation and praying will re-energize your spiritual energy. For physical, it's going to be exercise and eating right. For emotional, it's going to be a hug, a kiss, and a laugh. For mental, it's going to be plan and calendar, my 2 favorite things. And last but not least, for your business, it's going to be lead generate, foundation block. So again, spiritual is meditate and pray. Physical is exercise and eat right. Emotional is hug, kiss, and laugh. Mental is plan and calendar. Business is lead generate. So these are the 5 types of energy and how to maintain those energies and focus. Another thing that I'd like to mention is I have this book here. It's called, if you guys have never seen this book, it's called The Miracle Morning. And this really helps you be able to kind of, it has all of these different energy and focus things that we're kind of talking about right here, but all throughout the morning. So we have a couple different recurring factors when it comes to this class right here, right? Time block. We have, waking up in the morning and doing your morning activities. You have your one thing. The Miracle Morning, if you guys haven't picked up this book here, this will really kind of help you be able to maximize your morning time, write your affirmations, your words of affirmations, meditate, pray, things like that. So again, if you guys haven't, and you guys are looking to really maintain your energy and focus and you haven't checked out this book, go ahead and take a look. All right, next page right here, accountability. So our 411 productivity tools right here. So this is a really cool tool that we have. We have a couple different tools when it comes to Keller Williams. This will be one of them right here. And if you guys don't have this right here, what I will do is I will share this to you. So this is our 411 right here. There you go. Everyone can have a 411 worksheet right here. These are very important to kind of help structure out and map out your business, right? So we kind of talked about goals and getting energized and focused. Well, let's talk about the statistics and the tools that we use to reach these goals that we've set up for ourselves. So first is going to be the accountability. So our 411, what is a 411? Well, a 411 stands for 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. So we also talked about the one thing with Gary Keller. Oh, perfect. We talked about the one thing with Gary Keller. Another thing that you'll hear is that's similar to the one thing are rocks. Just like what's your one thing today? Like what's your daily rocks? Like what are your one things for today, right? We call these rocks because they may be 2 or 3 tasks for the day. So your 401 tool allows you to define your weekly, monthly, and annual goals because your daily activities manifest into your overall results. The goals you set are an effective and crucial accountability function of your business. So with our annual goals, as we're looking at this right here, we'll just start off a basic. What at the end of the year, if we fast forward at the end of this year, what would we like to see out of our business? So at the end of the year, what would you like your profit to be, right? And if your profit is this much, what's going to be our monthly goals? And it says goals, right? So I'm using profit and as just an example, right? So there can be a number of different things inside of here. So so my annual goals would be to make this much. How much would I need to make every month in order to get my annual goal? And if I need to make this much every month, what are the activities that I'm doing every week in order to ensure that I'm meeting my monthly goals? And what am I doing in my monthly goals to ensure that I'm meeting my annual goals, and so on? So this sheet is very, very useful. I would use this sheet anywhere you go, if inside of your business, outside of your business. If your son or daughter wants this at the end of the year, well, if your 16-year-old wants to have a car at the end of the year, how many chores per month do they need to do, and what do those chores look like? Right? So you can really use this for any sort of subject that you want, but it's a very handy roadmap into keeping yourself accountable for reaching your goals. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys complete your 411s. I won't make you do it right now, just for the sake of time. But again, just like I said, this 401 is so important. Everything that's structured out in this class is so important to help you guys succeed. That you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you did not complete this 411. Okay. If you need help at all, please reach out to me. Reach out to Mara. Any one of us should be able to help you complete your 411. All right, next would be leveraging the MREA. To be highly successful in your real estate career, it's important that you understand the systems and models of the MREA. And there are 4 models, the economic model, the lead generation model, the budget model, and the organizational model. So there's 4 models in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And if you guys haven't, this is the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book right here. If you guys need a copy of this, reach out to your executive leadership team. They should be able to help you out. If you guys want an audio copy of it, I have one for you. Let's see. I have one for you right here. If you belong to Audible, I believe it's $15. If you're new to Audible, you can get it for free, I do believe. So you can get a free copy of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent audio book right there. And yeah, so this is like a Bible. This is a tried and true testament to your real estate business. You can actually apply these systems and models to any business effectively. So with these models and right here, they really go through building out your lead generation, building out your business when you're growing your business to have an admin and a buyer's agent and a seller's agent. It has a budget model in order to effectively meet the million closed and so on. So again, leverage the millionaire real estate agent because this is going to be your biggest Bible when it comes to your real estate business. All right. Page 20. Let's see. Where am I at here? There we go. Revisit your goals. So on the very first Ignite of this course right here, your business, Ignite Your Business was the first title of the course. You set a goal for your annual number of closed contracts based on the annual income you desire. Annual goals can be broken down to monthly, weekly, and even daily goals to keep you on track. You'll even be able to measure your progress towards them. At this time, you may be ready to increase your goal. You can enter an additional or changed goals in your GCI calculator. Now, have you guys entered your 2021 goals yet? Yeah. Have you done that inside of Command? Okay, perfect. Good. All right. So let's go back and revisit those goals. Just do me a quick favor and jump into your Command system and just tell me, how they look, and if they need a quick adjustment, do a quick little adjustment there, and then we will go ahead and continue on. I'll just give you guys, I don't know, like 3 minutes or something. All right. How's everything looking, you guys? Do you still need a little bit more time? Yeah. Okay.
I have a quick question. Can we ask questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to bug anybody. So like under the goals, I had gone in a while back and set my goals when we were kind of doing that in class. But I had a transaction close in January, and I guess I'm confused on how it works as far as like when you set like your financial goals as well on my first page. And then it's not showing that I have any transactions closed year to date, but I closed in January. How do I fix that?
You may need to reach out to your MCA just to see if see what it looks like on their end to try
Okay.
and cross compare. You said it was in January, not February, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not quite sure because I know that they still may be through transmittal right now in February, but yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
I'd reach out to your MCA just to know a little bit more about that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, you guys. How's everyone looking? Looking pretty good. Okay, perfect. Awesome. I what I did when you guys were loading that up is I put up the CGI for conversations sheet right here. And if you guys don't have if you guys don't have that, I just put it in the chat box right down here. This is the 4 conversations. This kind of helps when it comes to like visiting your goals. You'll see a lot of agents have this up on their walls throughout the office. And how you read the 4 conversations is when you break down, you know, what do you want to make for the year versus the month versus the year versus the month, right? So what would you like to make at the end of the year? What we do is we actually put this down in the bottom right hand corner. So let's say I want to make a 100K profit at the end of the year. Well, if we want to make a 100K profit, how many closings do we need? Now, when you fill this out in your goals inside of Command, all of this bottom row should fill in for you. So you may not have this picture, but all the stats should automatically be there for you. So your profit will go here. The number of closings that you would need to make that profit would go here. Listings taken, how many listings do you need? You'd put that right here. And how many appointments you need right here. So we start backwards, and that way we'll know exactly what we need to get there. But how it reads is I need this many appointments in order to make this many listings. And I need this many closings in order to make this much profit. So this top one up here is going to be blank for you to fill out every month. And you'll be able to cross compare your goals with what you've written down. So say if your goal is 25 appointments a month and you've reared 18 right here, well, chances are everything down the line it may be a little bit lowered. If you have 25 appointments right here and say listings taken, you want 10 listings, right? Say 10 is the average, but you only get about 7, even though you made your total appointments. Well, that just means something right here in the middle, your conversion, something kind of went a little bit skew. So what we'll need to do is we'll just need to reassess what do we do? What are the systems that take place from the moment that a appointment comes in to the moment that a listing is taken? So what are the steps that I do there? And I might need to tweak, a step or two in order to really maximize the amount of listings taken. Now, this wall of value right here is everything that you do for your clients to get them from listings taken to closings right here. So this is the open houses. This is the showings. This is everything that you do. This is the marketing. This is everything. This is your wall of value. And so once we come over to closings right here, we'll need a certain number of closings in order to get to our profit. And we'll just try to mirror as much as we can to the bottom numbers down here. Any questions on the 4 conversations? Okay, perfect. So there's actually 2 things going on right here in the 4 conversations. You have the boxes, right? Which is your numbers. But then you don't forget these middle lines right here where these are, think of these as your actions. What do you do right here to get from here to here? Okay. And if your numbers are start to look wrong or lower than you'd like, start looking in your center lines right here and start looking at your actions and what you do to move them over. Those are your 4 conversations. All right, let's get back to the slide here. Let's see. Page, 21. We're going to evaluate wins and opportunities to self-reflect on your action. I'd like some volunteers to share what they've learned throughout this Ignite process. More or less, I'd like to open up the floor for individuals to tell me what their wins were. So what were some wins that you guys have found throughout this Ignite process? And I'm not saying just the Ignite class, as I'm saying the entirety, what you're doing outside of the class, what you're learning, what you're implementing, and things like that. So let's open up the floor here.
I would say that for me personally, I had started in Washington with real estate and I was only barely getting my feet wet. And I was with Keller Williams there, but the teachings that I had there were much more follow the book, follow the rules. It was less personal. It wasn't, interactive. It was just a really different way of learning. And after moving to Keller Williams, Eugene, Springfield, and being in this program, and I don't think a lot of good things came out of COVID, but I mean, I was just telling my husband earlier today that for me personally, being at home with my kids, these classes online are a blessing because we're getting to communicate still. Like I'm not having to find a sitter to take my kids to. And I think the biggest takeaway from all of it for me was just a different way of learning. It was, and it just more like openness to do what works for you and not like, do it at these hours at this time and this is where you go. It was just very informative on finding the path that's right for you, work your business, how it's going to work for you. And I really appreciate that because I think everyone is different and has a different life and has different things going on. And before it felt kind of like off-putting, like you had to do it their way or the highway, and this has just been like a totally different experience. So I just feel blessed that we have been encouraged to find a way to make the business work for us, as well as us working for the business at the same time. So.
Yeah, Chelsea, I really like what you said there. You'll see a lot of different real estate agents in your market center with a number of different backgrounds. Tons of different fields, some with children, some without, some new, some for decades of experience. And one thing that I've found out is you're right. There's no one cookie cutter way of doing business, as there is doing business that works for you. Right. We talk a little bit about niches in some of my classes, and it's so easy to fall into a let's just say like, I'm not sure who to reach out to. Right. I get this question from time to time on social media with real estate agents, and they say, there's so many real estate agents out there on social media. How do I compete in a sea of all these agents? And I say it's easy. You just have to find your niche. More often than not, Chelsea, the places that you go and that you visit and the things that you're interested in are different than the things that I'm interested in. And the people that hang around the places that you are interested in will probably get more of your business than say the people that I'm around, right? So it's one thing to keep in mind that it doesn't matter where you're searching social media in person, right? As it is following that path that's right for you. I'm not going to pretend to be a snowboarder, right? So if I go into a snowboard shop with a skateboard and I say, hey guys, what's going on? You know, chances are I may not be able to connect very well with that group of individuals. Well, each one of us in this training is different. We're unique. We were built like that by design. So to be able to go and interact with the people that we're similar with is a foot in right there. So Chelsea, absolutely love what you said there. I think it's phenomenal, and you're right. You know, there's not one style, and everyone else that's that you go into your market center and you reach out and you talk to, they'll give you all of their advice, but it's up to you to put it to whatever works and whatever doesn't. And any other wins? I want to hear some more wins.
I'll go. One of the biggest wins has been trying to develop a process of working as a team with Jeff and I. We have been a partnership and best friends. We were best friends for like 12 years, and we've been together for 6 weddings coming up, but we hadn't really ever worked together where we had to merge our normally very accommodating styles. Like, we don't fight or argue really, but in the process of developing a business and making sure that we want to have our individual goals in mind, it got tricky. And so we've really learned how to communicate better. We've had, you know, really good conversations, some of them, you know, emotional ones, just trying to figure out how to really be good partners. And also in the process, figuring out a mutual vision, like one that works for both of us, that's complementary to both of us at the same time. And that is a process that we've really started getting better at, and then we've refined. We've got a great brand and a logo that we're excited about. We've got a good message and something that speaks to us personally, as well as being able to, you know, be out there in the world and hopefully help other people. And then just recently, we kind of, through many conversations, have kind of redefined how we want to market ourselves, and kind of really honing in on that whole process. And so that's a huge win for us. So those are the things that I think that are really have been the biggest wins in the last 4 weeks for us, for me at least. I can't speak for him.
Yeah, I have to say that that, you know, having a business, starting a business with a loved one, is you really it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? You're not quite sure what to expect, but and at times it can be grueling, but gosh, does it open up new bits of information, right? Like of what somebody's true passion is, right? Versus what somebody's not quite that interested in. And things like that, and being able to work like a puzzle piece and connect the pieces to work as one fluid motion, I think it's phenomenal. It's tricky sometimes, but gosh, is it enlightening.
It really has challenged us to kind of push past what would normally be an uncomfortable conversation, because we have to. So we might have in the past just kind of like let things go or gloss things over. And now we're really learning how to work through the adverse side of conversations in a healthy and productive way, which, you know, is kind of necessary and will help us in the future as well.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. All right. We'll do one more win in the last 4 weeks. What's another win that you guys have had? Okay.
All right, I can go then.
Tyler?
I was waiting for somebody else to jump in because I've talked about this before. But in the past 4 weeks, I've really enjoyed like actually feeling encouraged enough to get out and talk to people about it, as opposed to just kind of doing all the behind the scenes stuff and getting all that set up. And I've really enjoyed that. It's definitely been challenging at times, but I think I'm finding my groove and working in it, and that means a lot to me.
Tyler, I have to tell you that just about every single time I go on a live training, I am nervous as heck. But it's just the way that it is, right? You know, I'm sitting there, I'm trying to do some jumping jacks to get the heart race in and get a little bit more energy flowing through me. But yeah, the more practice and the more you're at it, the better off it'll be. So So yeah, man, behind the scenes stuff, it's always nice to work on to work behind the scenes and fine tune and make stuff, but it is a little trickier to get out and put your face out in public, especially COVID now. It's even more trickier, but yeah, man, just knowing where to jump in.
For sure.
And that's a good segue. Let's hear some struggles, you guys. What are some things that we've encountered that we could probably improve on? Sure, Debbie.
I'll go real quick. The technology has really kind of tripped me up. Like, I know it's set up for ease later and keeping your contacts going and setting up like smart plans and stuff, but getting it set up has just been like a super big challenge for me. So something for me to work on, and I need to learn to ask for more help.
Well, Debbie, you're in luck because I happen to be the tech trainer. So why don't you go ahead and jump on? I sent a link in here, kwtechhelp.com, and on Meet the Division, I have a one-on-one link right there. Hopefully we can get that taken care of for you, okay?
Thank you. And I'm going to schedule a 45-minute
Perfect.
help.
Perfect. Yeah, Abigail.
I was gonna say, I feel kind of bad, but I have daycare for my kid, but it's limited, and I feel like one of the hardest things for me was dedicating 3 to 4 hours of my time to the class when I feel like I could be out networking and stuff. So that's kind of been tricky, but I know that what I'm learning is valuable, and I'll be able to use it while I'm networking in the future. So it's kind of a double-edged sword on that one.
I think you kind of hit on something very, very important that every once in a while I'll get an agent that'll ask me, what's the one piece of advice that you see the agents not taking advantage of? And the only thing that came to my mind was the fact that there comes a time where the real estate agent becomes too busy to learn. And the moment you become too busy to learn, the moment you become too busy to expand and grow your business. So Abigail, just keep that in mind, that the training, as boring as it is to sit in your chair for a few hours, I promise you, the information inside of it, it works tenfold. So just keep that in mind. When you guys get to the point where you're starting to get really busy and you guys don't have the time to go to a training, stop for a moment and just have that little light bulb that goes off. If I'm too busy for a training, I'm too busy to better my business. Okay. Let's do one more. Any other rooms for improvement?
Well, I'll take the easy one, Morgan, and Zoe alluded to it, but really just calendar. And Abigail said too, when you have 1 to 4 classes, 1 to 3 classes, and then you have limited time, you're trying to launch a business, the biggest challenge really is not falling into that whirlwind where you're just simply checking your email, taking all the easy things off the list. We have this whiteboard that we installed on the wall. It's just loaded with stuff. And you sit back and you gaze up at it and you're like, how are we going to get all this done? But just today, even at lunch, we were sitting back thinking, okay, every week we're going to figure out what are the 3 key things we need to get done this week. And we need to get up in the morning and we need to say, these are the things we need to focus on. So, but that is obviously the biggest challenge in launching the business is our calendar. It's just been a struggle how to fit everything in and do the right things.
Jeff, and you'll see that calendar struggle is very real, and there'll probably be a constant in your real estate business, but in a good way as well, right? It's the one I like to consider it my Chef Ramsay, where it's just always sitting there yelling at me. What do I got to do next? So yeah. So, and again, those small little fires. There's so many small little fires that ignite as opposed to one large fire that you can put out. And kind of think of it that way. When you put out one fire, one large fire, it stops a few small fires from spreading. So just kind of keep that in mind. And yeah, calendar is something that I can probably take another second look at and do a little spring cleaning on myself. All right. Moving on here, guys. What kind of leads are you getting? Seller leads, buyer leads? What about the quality of leads that you're getting? How quickly are you able to convert them into an appointment? So I'll just open it up into open discussion here. Anyone?
I will say that that's been part of a challenge for me, is that I'm getting a lot of like first time home buyer leads. And so we start talking, they get really excited. And then they go out and they schedule an appointment with like a credit union. And so then they come back and they're like, sounds like it's going to be another year or 3 years, but I'll keep you in mind, you know? So like, I'm just trying to continue to nurture those friendships, those relationships, those pieces of business, and over time hopefully kind of bring them back and let them know like, hey, there's multiple ways to get approved and get pre-qualified. You know, credit unions aren't your only route, and helping, I guess, educate in a really kind and cautious and thoughtful way. Kind of what I'm doing.
I like that. Tori, if you can, again, always, yeah, educate. Education is key. The more knowledge we have, the more successful we're going to be, especially in our big choices and decisions that we have to make. So the more that you can educate your clients, the better off that they'll be, because just like you said, they'll go to the credit union, they'll sit down with the appointment. Are you doing any like say email campaigns or social media posts about that if you're starting to see an influx in those leads coming through?
I have done some social media stuff, but it doesn't seem to be reaching those people. So I'm kind of getting into DMs with people doing that same stuff. And then just, I think as I'm learning things too, I will just text those people and be like, hey, I just learned something and it made me think about you. And then kind of use that as a way to educate them. I'm still getting used to the technology as far as like emails go, but I'm definitely utilizing messages and messaging and texting. And thankfully, like my sister is one of those people that was like, crap, give me another year, sis. And then, you know, we've just kind of been talking, and I learned something the other day from a loan officer I've been working with. And so my sister was like, hey, I know I didn't respond to you right away, but like, I heard what you said and I want to talk, I want to listen. So that's kind of been working for me for now, but I want to get into the emails. So
Tori, I wonder if you can set up a Facebook Live, a time where you can go live to have a half-hour class, 45-minute class, to talk about the different options that you have, and maybe schedule it 2 or 3 weeks in advance, and invite those individuals that you've heard have gone to a credit union, or that you think may be in that process. And see what happens.
Yeah, Tori, also
that is super smart.
Sorry, go ahead, Morgan.
And I was also going to say, and if you're one of those people who are pretty nervous about it, about going live, you can always pre-record it and then play it as it's live as well, and kind of have it that way too. Tyler, go for it.
Oh, I was just going to say, Tori, I don't think you were there yesterday, but if you think it might be useful for you, I know that it was recording. I don't know how to access it, but that Lending 101 class with Heather Ducker, she had that presentation like very on point, very well put together and thought out and everything like that. It goes very deep, not super deep, but like it's a very nice overview of all the different types of lenders and like, you know, why you might be more likely to get approved with one lender versus another, and how to like identify which lenders or which types and things. I found that class to be super helpful. If you can access that recording, Morgan, you probably know how to access it.
I'll take a look. If you feed me some info, like shoot me a message, Tyler, I may be able to jump in and try and find it a little bit more. And yeah, that's another great thing to keep in mind too. A partner with a lender. A lender would be more than happy to sit right next to you during the 30-45 minutes and talk about their side as well. We had an agent in our market center Danielle Philpott, who did that a few weeks ago, and it was a great class. So much so where I was interested and I joined it as someone just wanting to learn. So so keep your options open. I think that you may be pleasantly surprised in that turnout. Anyone else? What kind of leads? Anyone want to share with me what kind of leads they're getting?
Sure, I can real quick. I have primarily been using Facebook ads, cold calling people, and also sending out letters. I am about to send out the first batch after class today. Got them here. So I haven't gotten any leads on those yet. I have gotten a few leads from the Facebook ads, not a lot from the cold calling. The Facebook stuff was mostly buyer leads. A couple of them I talked to, and one of them didn't go super well. The other one I think went pretty well, and I'm working with her slowly get her through that. She's not like super motivated to get it done, but also I think it'll turn into something eventually, so I'm excited about that.
Awesome. All right, and anyway, Chelsea, did I see, was it?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. My kids are being like super distracting today, so I totally apologize.
No worries.
I'm drowning in my tech as well. And I saw, is that link that you sent through the chat? I was trying to find it. Is that through Facebook only?
The one-on-ones?
Yes.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope,
it's not.
just
Okay, 'cause I don't have my.
it's like a Calendly link.
Oh, okay. I'll look again. I couldn't find it, but I'll check again. Sorry, I didn't want to take away from what
No
we're actually
worries.
talking about. I was trying to find it.
So yeah, all of you guys, if you're looking for more help in your KW technology, I will be releasing my study halls. My study halls are going to open back up. I'm not quite sure when. They may be in the next few weeks or so. So just keep a lookout for that. You're always more than welcome to schedule one-on-ones with me as well. So 45-minute one-on-one. If you go to kwtechhelp.com, let me see if I have. Let me see here. Actually, let me give you the raw link right here. So this link right here at the very bottom of this page, you should have a schedule an appointment link. So so there you go. Schedule away. If you guys don't have, if you have any issues that come up that are and my my scheduling is too far out, what you can do is you can click submit a ticket up at the top, and that will submit a support ticket. But yeah, take advantage of that, you guys. I'm always here to help you with your KW technology. All right, let's see what else here. Okay, as CEO of you, because you are your own business owner now. So as CEO of you, rate your performance using a scale of 1 to 5. 1 equals improvement needed. 5 equals excellent. No improvement needed. So we're at a 2. Just at a 2. Tyler, what were you at? 2. Okay. Chelsea, 2. Okay. Why did you rate yourself this way?
I'll say for me, I have been really lucky with friends and people I know, and that's kind of how I've been working my business. But I jumped in right away with a listing because I didn't want to pass up the opportunity, and so now I'm having to backpedal immensely and really work on my actual business. I mean, I don't even have my Facebook set up. I just did my Instagram not that long ago, so I'm really like working backwards at this point. And then now they've become my buyer clients, which is awesome. But now I'm, like, I feel like I like started out backwards, which was great, but now I'm kind of like backpedaling. So for me, I feel like I have a lot of groundwork to make up.
Well, Chelsea, one good thing to note is that if you notice through all of our worksheets that we had here, we always work backwards. So so keep in mind that when you do meet up in the middle here, you'll know exactly what everything meant. So consider it as a once over, right? Who else wants to share? Why did you rate yourselves the way that you rated yourselves? Go for it.
I personally rate myself at about a 3 or a 4 because I'm an optimist and I think I'm doing a great job. And I know that there's been a lot of challenges, but I feel like we're, making a lot of progress. But when everybody started saying 2, I was like, well, should I be at a 3 or 4? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should be like, you got a lot to do, but I feel pretty good.
I would say it this way, just Chelsea, to make you feel better. I rated it 2 because we've been foundational. I wanted to set the business up the right way and lay the foundation of this whole business. So things like Facebook and social media and branding and yard signs. I don't even have a listing. So think about the opposite. You have dollars in your pocket. Zoe and I don't have a listing. Zoe and I have buyers that are 6 months out. We have a great foundation. Man, we're excited. We have no commissions in our pocket. So I think what Morgan's saying is that you're out there. Our sphere is where we're getting our leads from, Morgan, but we've spent a lot of time, and it's mainly me. Zoe's the leaper. If I would have just let Zoe go in a separate room and never talked to her about the business, we probably would have had deals by now. But I was really focused on structuring this and the processes so we can duplicate. When someone comes to our Facebook page, when I run a campaign, I want them to see that we're professional and we know what we're doing. And so I've tried to lay it all out so that we can hit the ground running with some ad spend. We just haven't done ad spend yet. And so I rate it as a 2, but like Zoe, I think we're a 3 or 4 on laying the foundation of the business.
He's a perfectionist, and my friend always told me when we would work on, like, this has how my goals changed when I was young. We used to do sewing projects together, and we would try to do complicated patterns and make things, for my child and things. And when I would get stuck because I couldn't start a project, I was worried I was waste fabric. I was worried that I wouldn't do it right or I'd make the wrong cuts. And she'd look at me and in some weird accent, I'm not sure why, she'd go, "It ain't a piano." And that was her motto. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect because you can adjust and correct later. If it didn't turn out the way you want, then you've learned something. And that is really why I feel like I rate myself higher, because I know it's a work in progress, and that's what it's supposed to be.
Well, I have to say, you guys, thank you all for sharing. And one thing to keep in mind is this performance rating, it's going to fluctuate, right? It's going to change. It's going to move with you and your business. It may move with you and your emotions and feelings. So just keep in mind, there are times where I have felt that I am at a 5, right? But all of a sudden I hit, I bust through that ceiling and then I'm at a 1 again. I consider this, I like to say that, I like to say the quote, level up your life. Treat life like a video game, because if you pair the similarities between a video game and your life, you'll see how scarily similar they are. You go through a video game, for example, and you go through the world, and then you complete these obstacles or these tasks, and then you level up. It's very similar to the way that life works. You go through life, you get a job, you level up, right? You buy a house, you level up. You accomplish your goals, right? Your goals, you level up. And each time I consider these a growth, right? Everybody calls growth as something that is happening, right? I consider growth as a moment that you have acknowledged that you're going through a growth pattern, where on the other end that you're going to come out a little bit different. Talking about growth right here, your scale 1 to 5, just know that it will always change. Level up your life. If life starts to get hard, treat it like one of those final bosses that it may knock you on your butt a few times, but that's what it's designed for. But then once you beat the boss, you get out to the next level. So keep that in mind. Your scale is going to always change. Right now, I consider myself right where you guys are at, probably about a 2 or a 3. So and probably about 6 months ago, I was thinking I was a little bit higher. So again, but it's always growing, always leveling up. Knowing this class here today and going through Ignite, tell me, you guys, what will you do differently moving forward?
Okay, all right, I'll start. I need to pop out of my bubble of the people that I know and, expand my sphere, not count on just, like what's going on right now, but really look outside and look towards the future. So.
Good.
I think kind of conversely to that, I want to reconnect with people that I used to know around here. Not that I was super close with a lot of them. I was a pretty shy person in high school, but I don't know. It's just kind of fun to reconnect with people, and I've been focusing a lot on people I don't know. And in writing that letter during that activity today, I don't know. It was just kind of fun. I mean, we'll see what the response is to it, but knowing the guy that I'm writing, I'm imagining it'll be a pretty good one. And I don't know. I think that'll be fun and also effective. So yeah.
Chelsea and Tyler, one thing just quickly came to mind. A stranger is just a friend that you haven't met yet. So keep that in mind. A stranger is just a client you haven't worked with yet. Just keep that in mind. Awesome, love it. Zoe or Jeff?
I would say for me, it's using Zoe's energy and excitement to be a little more bold and just go out and talk. We've been talking about our neighbors for a while, and I know any moment a yard sign is going to happen around the corner with Remax, and we're going to be upset that we didn't walk around and hand out our business cards and a little plant for spring and be upset about it. So we're at that stage where we just need to get more visible and be out and about and start talking to our neighbors.
And if I could add to that, the thing that I think, we even talked about it this morning before class about getting a second whiteboard and making a plan of how we were going to start our day and spend our day. And the goal setting that we need to do is that we really are now through the big rocks of getting the business up and running. And now we need to focus on the really big rocks of how we're going to make this business profitable and manageable, and getting our time blocking down. So that's the biggest thing from this that I've kind of moving forward, we're going to have to implement and figure out how we're going to make it work. Just like as a young mom, I couldn't imagine making 3 meals a day before I had my child. I was like, what? How do you eat and feed and plan for that? And then eventually you just do it. So we're going to have to figure that piece out for ourselves as well.
Love it. Tori.
Getting my kids dressed to go outside, and that's going to be my biggest thing. Doing something different is I'm really good at managing our time for my children. Like, we make sure we do our stuff every day, but I need to be better at like blocking out that time for myself instead of working myself around everybody else. So not comfortable to put myself first, but I need to.
I think that's very important. Tori, what you said there, a lot of people think the same way, that I have so much work to do that I don't have the time to relax or take some time for myself. But in reality, we're kind of like our batteries, right? We're kind of like batteries, or we're like our cell phones, where it doesn't work unless we get charged. So so keep that in mind when you think of, and because I'm guilty of this as well. When you think of, gosh, I have so much to do, I can't be selfish and take time for myself. Just know that, like, it's not an option, it's a requirement. So if you want your business to thrive and succeed, and even if you know that you have a lot of work that you still need to do, you need to take that time for yourself. You need to take that time for your family. The reason why you're doing this, because without that time, all of this is for nothing. So so keep that in mind, that that the time is very, very important. So much so where I'll probably spend a little bit of extra time today, because I always work after hours. I'll probably spend a little bit of time today myself, really relaxing and spending it for me. Great stuff, you guys. Thank you for sharing. Tell me what kind of classes Ignite classes this round, what kind of speakers did you really enjoy? So who did you who had you, and who did you have, and who was great?
You know, I thought for me, what I loved is, we said it earlier, there's no one way to do it right. And although it was alarming at first when you're looking at the material and you're like, well, what's going on? And because an agent comes in and says, this is what I do. I don't use that. I don't do this. This is what I do. And you see all the success. It's tough when you're learning because you can't be that person. But I would say for me, the open house with Hannah Reno and how they make that a 7th level open house, and knowing in the market we're in right now that so many sellers are afraid to put their home on the market, but they're out looking. I think that's going to be a big strategy for all of us when we get an opportunity to hold open houses for other agents that do have the listings. And I think that was valuable, and plan to watch that again when I get a chance. The open house one was great.
Perfect.
And I would agree that the open house was good. I'm just going to jump in because my daughter's at the door with a load of laundry she has to do because, you know, she's young and things are broken. But I really loved the Keen presentation. I think that his marketing materials and the way he went about talking about his team business with his wife was great.
So which one was that?
Sean, I think it was.
Sean Keen, the Keen group.
Perfect. And anyone else? Who are some great instructors that you had during this round? Tyler, Chelsea, Tori.
Go
ahead.
Okay. I would just say that like I liked a lot of Matt's classes because they were just really interactive, and for me, I feel like I learn better when I can interact, ask questions that are going on like right now or what's pertaining to my business. And, you know, I know everyone's supposed to follow like the material, but I tend to like the classes that follow the material a little less, and we get to communicate a little more. That piques my interest. And I feel like it's more hands-on for being over a computer, like as hands-on as you're going to get. So I really enjoyed most of his classes.
Yeah, that's what I was about to echo, actually. Matt's got a real, I don't know, just casual way of speaking, getting his point across quickly and digestibly, and we're not just following the book. Not that there's anything wrong with the books or something like that, but I don't know. I mean, maybe this is just my inability to focus on stuff like that, but I tend to just go ahead, read through it, and not really digest it because I'm also distracted by, you know, where the speaker's at the time, and it just doesn't work super well for me. I like interacting and talking more and discussing and, you know, typing out responses to people's stuff, and it's just more involved that way for me too.
All right. Tori, any favorite instructors?
Okay. My son's telling me about bikes. Sorry. Yeah, as far as instructors, I really also did like the open house presentation from Hannah Reno. I really want that to be one of my legs of business once things feel more comfortable. I really feel like that seems like something that I could naturally do. And so I'm looking forward to doing that. I mean, well, and listening to her mom too, I was like, dang, okay, these are good people. I really love how they're doing their business. So Clover thinks so too.
All right, you guys, I'll be sure to pass along some kudos to these instructors here, just because I know that they spent a lot of hard time to create some great classes for you and show up and spend some good hours. So I'll pass some love their way. Let's see, where are we at on our slides here? Okay, so our conversions right here. So I kind of went over our conversions during our 4 conversations. If this looks a little familiar for you guys, basically how this is broken out is it's just organized differently than the boxes. So am I still shared with you guys? So so what we have here is week 1. We have our connections, our appointments, our conversion rate, and our percentages right here. So if we have 44 connections, but we turned 0 into appointments. We have 0 out of 44. So, which would be 0%, right? If we have 29 connections and 0 appointments, that'd be 0 out of 29. So it'd also be 0%. So if we have 36 connections and 1 appointment, it'll mean we have 1 appointment out of 36 connections. And now we can start to break this down into fractions here. So let me admit Chelsea. So now we can start to turn this into a percentage, right? So now that we have the fraction, you'll see that 1/36 is 2.7%, right? And then we'll do this again. So we'll have connections 49, appointment 2, right? So now that we have the 2, we'll just divide this in half, which would be roughly 25%. Sorry, 25. So it'd be 1 out of 25, which would equal 4%, right? They just rounded up for the 49 right here to get the 25. Now, I won't spend too much time on this just because, I mean, we went over the 4 conversations, but do you guys have any questions regarding this conversion rate at all? No? Okay. If you do, reach out to me or Mara. They're pretty easy. I think again, I just jumped the gun a little bit earlier with the know your numbers section. But yeah, this is exactly the same thing. I'm thinking that 4 conversations may be a little bit easier for you. But again, if you wanted to write out your percentages, you can figure that out here. So connection, appointment, and then conversion rate. Let's see right here. Commit to action. Gosh, I can't believe we're already this far. Commit to action. So now that you've looked at your goals and your numbers, it's time to set some commitments out. Now, some of you may be joining us again for Ignite. Tyler, I hope to see you again soon. But some of you may be going through this course and then that may be it. You may not want to participate again in Ignite, right? But what I'd like to do is I'd like to at least leave you guys with some commitments. So after you guys complete the exercise, I'm gonna well, I won't ask you guys to stand up and share what you're committing to, but how about I just ask you guys to maybe just share a commitment. So down below, if you guys on page 26, you guys should have a commitments page right here with a checkbox. It says, I commit to continuing the daily 10-4. I commit to practicing my scripts daily, very important. I commit to holding open houses every week. I commit to putting all the people in my database into a touch campaigns, following up with their phone call every quarter. So quarterly phone call. So these are very important too. The moment you get a lead, put them in your database, because then you can start actually trying to turn them into transactions and deals. I commit to going on blank appointments every week. How many appointments are you guys going to commit to going on every week? I commit to pre-qualifying buyers and getting a signed buyer presentation agreement before showing home. I commit to pre-qualifying sellers with a listing pre-listing packet. I commit to pricing the listing to ensure a sale for my customers. I commit to managing all transactions to a successful close for both parties. Very important, both parties. I commit to consumer service and creating a win-win for all parties involved. I commit to my 411 and having myself held accountable to do it. I commit to coaching for some form of regular accountability. Now, guys, how many businesses just tell you and help you build your own business that's self-sustainable like this? It's phenomenal. Now it's going to be your choice. It's going to be your turn to commit to these actions right here. You should commit to all of them because all of them will grow your business. Your business will only thrive as well as you do, and to have all these bits of information right here are going to bring you that much closer to your goals. All right. Commit to growth through continual learning and improvement. So there's a few things that I'm hoping that you guys will learn and read. The first thing is going to be the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Like I said, I gave you guys the audio, the free audio book. If you don't have an Audible subscription yet, you can sign up and get a free Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, and then cancel your subscription if you don't use it, right? The Millionaire Real Estate Investor is going to be another good one to read, as well as Shift. Since we're going through a shift right now, Shift is going to be a great book. There will be 4 training sessions that I would like you guys to participate in. I'd like you to participate in Family Reunion. I'd like you to participate in Mega Camp. I'd like you to attend Ignite again. And I'd like you to attend Bold when it comes out. These should help ensure you to be well on your way to a successful real estate business. And then take the technology training offered in your market center. Guys, I have I'm in the Eugene area. So for those of you who are in the Eugene Market Center, there's no excuse to not reach out to me. For those of you who are not, I'm not too far away. I actually service all 5 market centers in the Experience Brokerage Network. So I'm just a simple Zoom or Google Meet conference away to getting all of your training or tech questions answered. So please, please, please take advantage of that. If you guys are looking for some of those books that I mentioned before, if you go to the KW Tech Help page and click Network Live Schedule, at the very bottom, there should be Education Resources and Keller Inc. books. We'll take you to the website where you can purchase any of these books or check with your executive leadership team. They may have some extras or some copies that you can pick up. All right. I think right here. So I'm not gonna do the script off, but guys, there's a script off right here on pages, how was it, pages 29 or 33 to 36. You should have a script off right here. These are just ways that you can hold a different scripting opportunities. Since I'm not a real estate agent, I'm going to pass this part off to Mara, where she may be able to hold a more fuller script off for you. And I think from there we only have one more page here, and this is putting it all together. So our action plan right here. We have an action plan and a recall and remember. So again, for those of you who don't know, after Ignite, after our class is done here today, if you're off on your own, there's a few things just to keep in mind. Attend training classes in your market centers. Review and track your numbers. Very, very important. Use the 411 and the 4 conversation sheet that I sent you. Continue to meet your accountability team and or partner. Again, I have weekly meetings as well as daily 15-minute quick huddles. So it's very, very important. I know nobody wants to meet every single day, first thing in the morning for 15 minutes, but it's to help keep us accountable and help keep us on track. So find a way to have an accountability team or an accountability partner within your market center or this class here today. Time block action items for your calendar. So what's the one thing that you need to do today to move the needle, and time block that out, preferably towards the morning time. just so you don't get bombarded with more emails and more tasks throughout the day. Continue to practice scripts and objection handlers. So these are very important. There's, I believe there's weekly script offs with Leslie Hilbert and Chase Williams that you guys can attend and actually hear the masters in action. I believe they also send scripts every week to you as well. So very, very important stuff. And again, your daily 10-4s. The reason why they do those 10-4s for you is to get you in the habit of completing them yourselves. How many contacts I do? That's your basic overview of your business. How many contacts did I do? How many appointments did I go on? How many open houses did I see? How many cards or notes did I take? So very, very important stuff. So as we wrap up here, I got a question for you, for all you guys. What are some ahas for today's Ignite class?
I found it to just be a really good overview reminder of what we've learned over these last several weeks. Just getting a chance to kind of revisit. One of the first things that I did at the beginning was when we were talking about goals, I had to go and open up my 411 that we had done on the first week or so and realized I hadn't touched that thing since January. So my biggest aha is just to kind of remember the things that we've learned and to put them into practice.
Perfect. Anyone else? Oh gosh, guys, not making me look very good on this recording here. No, I'm just kidding. All right, you guys. So as we wrap up here today, I'm going to stop this sharing here. That's going to be about it for us. I'm going to reclaim 20 minutes of your time back for you. If you guys have any questions, any final questions that you guys have for me about the class or outside of the class, anything at all? All right. Okay, guys. It was absolutely wonderful. Again, taking the time to spend with you here today. Please reach out if you guys need anything at all. What I'm going to do here is I'll actually, I'm going to drop my name, my email and in the chat box for you. And then we should be good to go. Let me stop my recording.